So you were mentioning before that we were talking about the strengths of community councils and in their involvement in having people included in community. And you had mentioned that there are a couple of ways that you see it. Did you want to elaborate on that?
I see a couple of broad general areas that I think councils can get involved with and focus on in regards to inclusion. One is a more community-wide approach where councils be looking at what are some of the barriers and systemic barriers in our community that are usually specific to a community. It might be transportation, it might be recreation, it might be education, it might be a variety of things. Things that families are saying and individuals are saying they are having issues with. And that council can look at who are the community leaders in this community that we can connect with to start talking about how we might change some of that and improve the access and the accessibility and the inclusion of individuals in those communities. So it might be connecting with town councils, it might be connecting with Rotary clubs, it might be connecting with the recreation department of the city or the town, whatever it might be, to look at what are some of the specific areas that they might be not aware of that are preventing people from participating and being included, or things that they might do to change, or how can we help and support change. So it's kind of making that link between CLBC and the community in a way that's different than bureaucrats themselves going in and trying to talk about these issues. The councils can be seen as community citizens that that really don't have a personal vested interest other than they're willing
to build their community,
willingness to be a part of a better community.
Right. Yeah.
And the second one is more of an individual basis. Really, inclusion happens one person at a time, and everybody's situation is different. But how can we support families? How we can help encourage them to be better advocates, or maybe feel more confident in their approach to folks in their community, and individuals themselves, self-advocates, how we can support them. So those may be very individual things. It may be little educational kinds of things for families, or maybe actually helping them connect with maybe it's the recreation department or their local church or whatever it is that we can be involved in. So I think those are the two levels that I think councils and can become involved in their community. And every community is different. Every council has to think about that. But I think as long as the idea that they keep in their mind is how is this advancing and promoting inclusion things that we're doing, then I think that over time the councils will become a very strong an inclusive part of the CLBC and the community system.
Sounds like do you have some ideas going forward right now about how you're going to be building those connections with key partners?
Our community, we're still in our struggling stage, is what I think a lot of councils are. But what we've decided to do is to take one project this year and see how that will work. And basically, it's along employment, the employment area. What we're trying to do is to do a couple of things: increase some awareness, as well as create a bank of experiences of what people's employment are, so that we can share that with our community. Share that with, say, the Chamber of Commerce or the Rotary Club. So we're going to have a student competition, high school student competition. We're going to put out 3 prizes of $500 each. So we have 3 sort of geographical areas within our region. And we will be asking students to come up with a 5-minute video on the experiences of an individual or an employer or a group of employers or individuals as in their employment experience. So the benefits of employment, how it's benefited the individual, positively portraying how employment can be important to an employer, to the community, and to an individual, and try and challenge these students to come up with something that's interesting and that we can share with us. So it gets a number of things happening. It gets students to perhaps experience something that they haven't experienced before, increasing their awareness. It's going to create a little bank of films or videos, stories that we can take to other people in the community. And it's going to challenge employers, I think, to start to really think about how this has been beneficial to them, as well as sharing that great experience that they've had. So that's just one idea. And it connects a bunch of the pieces that we're
Yes.
trying to work with in terms of inclusion from the individual perspective as well as through to the systemic kind of thing that I talked about.